Today, snow late afternoon, high of 37. Tonight, a little snow at low 28. And tomorrow, flurries early in the morning, high of 38.
This is WICR.
Welcome to the morning show.
That was awesome.
Welcome to the morning show.
That's the most fun I've had in a long time.
Yeah, on the radio. You're listening to us on Ustream.com and Live365.com by searching WICR. Of course, we're broadcasting live from the basement of La Penta.
V La Penta. La Penta V.
Yes.
Yeah.
Upsetting the Ionian, apparently, about that. So, yeah, what you just heard was a little bit of fun from us. We were kind of bored this morning. We said, well, what can we do to spice up the show?
Yeah.
And we came up with that.
So, I just noticed that Charles Boyd's name here is not centered.
It is not centered. Now what Ken is holding up is a CD jacket of an album called...
No, if it's a CD jacket. It's more of cardboard,
it's a piece of
folded over.
Yeah, well, it's still a jacket of some sort,
sure.
Makeshift.
Yeah, whatever.
We got that in the mail. WICR got it in the mail, and it's from Toronto, Canada, and it's an adult humor CD. And let me just say, we listened to one of the tracks, and it's definitely not for radio.
Man, oh man,
it's not.
Let's say, I don't have the letter he wrote with it, but so the title of the CD is called "Servant of God."
We're giving him a shout out right now, by the way.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, why not?
Why not?
He was nice. He sent us a CD.
Yes, he's very nice.
Charles Boyd is the artist. Everything is written and performed, the instruments and the vocals.
Right.
We're not going to play you a song because it's awful.
It's awful.
So we're giving him a shout out, but we're also letting people know that it's awful. But you know what? It's so awful that it's kind of funny. I think that's fair.
Well, it's adult humor.
It's like watching an ostrich ice skate. So awful.
What a great analogy.
That it just might work.
What a great analogy. You know what? I am just impressed.
Yeah. Yeah. So we listened to a song. I can't even say the name of the song on the air. I'd get in trouble.
No, you can't.
I won't. But the first, so there's 16 songs on this CD.
It's a long album.
It is. It's a long one. It's his third one in 3 years, according to his letter.
Hey.
I don't know if I believe him. You can download everything for free at charlesboyd.org, and I feel bad for him because he's paying for that domain name. Just feel awful.
Yeah.
And you can download it for free. And again, it's adult humor. But it's not funny.
It's not funny. It's just very vulgar.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if that kind of thing is your,
cup of tea.
If it's your cup of tea, then you'll enjoy it.
Ken Reichman, everyone here on the morning show.
Yes.
We're
your
giving
cup of tea.
We're giving away nothing here at WICR.
Nothing at all.
We wouldn't even give away the CD only because
Are you sure?
I mean, you said you wanted to keep it.
I kind of do, but I could download everything for free at charlesboyd.org.
You could.
But I'm sure, 100% sure, he's like an undercover FBI agent, and he's going to get me in trouble for illegally pirating his music from charlesboyd.org.
Well, if he says you can get it for free, then that's entrapment, if that would happen.
So would I make money off of this?
Actually, it's not. He's not forcing you, but if it's free, then it's not piracy.
I don't know what you're saying anymore.
Piracy is when, now I'll give you a quick lesson in this. Piracy is when you get something for free that's normally not. So a program. This is all I'm talking about. Internet
So if I were
piracy.
to steal a boat,
I mean that's
I would be...
yeah, it's literally piracy. Yes. Jokes here on the morning show. Jokes.
Morning jokes.
So Ken, some news about Flight 370. Why don't you talk about it?
All right. So yesterday morning, we were sitting here just 24 hours ago talking about how the Malaysian Prime Minister was going to give a report at 10 a.m.
Right.
So once we left, and the Malaysian Prime Minister did give his report, and it was really shocking to the families and to everybody else that listened to him. It was hard for a lot of the families to comprehend what he was saying, and at the end of the day, for me, it puts an end to it. But that's because I didn't have anybody on the plane, and I can understand 100% everybody's reservations too. There's no concrete evidence. There is no concrete, and that's the fact.
The only evidence that could be something from the plane was this debris that was picked up by a satellite.
Yeah.
And then China had some planes searching and actually spotted it.
Yes.
They didn't know if it was the plane, but they spotted the debris that what the satellite said, this is it, it was the right dimensions and stuff like that. However, when Australians wanted to go out and get
The weather was
get the debris, the weather was terrible. So now they're back 24 hours. So now who knows how much this stuff has drifted, especially in weather.
And I'm not an
storm
expert.
conditions.
I'm not an expert by any stretch of the imagination on anything
no,
in this.
neither am I.
I think the only thing I'm an expert in is falling asleep in class and not being noticed.
Heard it only here on WICR's morning
yes,
show.
you did. But I think, and again, I'm not an expert, but I mean, just the whole aspect of being able to find this plane after it's been gone for so long, in such an awful area, you know. Everybody on the news has talked about how this area is so desolate. There's just nothing there. It's just water, and it's not calm water. It's not like you go to the beach. It is.
No, it's
awful.
treacherous waters.
It is treacherous, yeah. And when the weather gets bad, which it is most of the time down there,
Yep.
things go wrong all the time. And you can only imagine that even if the plane was above the surface or close enough to the surface initially, after 2 weeks of treacherous waters and treacherous damage and irreparable and irreversible damage, it has disappeared.
Yeah,
And that happens.
Unfortunately, like I was telling you yesterday, my father was telling me about 60 years ago that a plane went down in Lake Michigan. Now, Lake Michigan is not as big as the Indian Ocean, of course, but they have still not found that plane.
Yeah,
and they know that the plane went down in Lake Michigan. It wasn't like a theory, but they know it went down in Lake Michigan. Think about that. You've been searching. You know, I think my dad told me, and he might be wrong, but it makes sense that right now it's not like the police still looking or this rescuer still looking. It's like
people.
active, people, just groups that want to help search. They usually search to find like lost ships and stuff. My dad was saying they have found so many ships, but they still have not found this plane.
Yeah,
and it's sad that to these families too. I don't want to say closure because closure is like a bad word. I think it's a bad word for it. There's no answers for these families.
Yeah, and I mean it's got to be hard, and
it has to be.
And again, like I said, to me that report put it to bed. But for people who had family members on that plane, I can fully understand why they're not satisfied.
Well, I think, you know, a lot. There's so many. See, every time something happens, even something like this that might put an end to another country saying, "All right, that's the end of it."
Yeah.
You know, we're sorry. You know, but
it's always speculation.
It's always speculation. But now there's more theories. Oh, someone's hiding something.
Yeah. And that's where I kind of like.
And it might be true, but I mean, how much speculation? How many theories can you have before the end of the day? You say, you know what, we don't know. That's it.
You're right.
Don't know.
And the thing for me, and I love conspiracy theories. I like watching movies on them. They're fun.
It's an interesting thing.
But
to watch.
you know what? The world can't be that awful all the time.
No.
And if it was, good God, because it would be just awful.
Chaos.
I can't. Yeah, chaos. It'd be chaos. The world can't be one giant conspiracy theory. If it was, that would be really strange.
It would be really strange. I'm sure there's things out there that we don't know.
I'm sure. But I'm also sure that sometimes when things happen, people are telling the truth. That's I mean, maybe it's just because I assume the best, but I can only imagine that.
I agree.
When a plane disappears, and there's how many people on board? 200 people on board.
Yeah, maybe a little over.
That nobody's going to lie about where it is. And if it's gone, they're going to say, you know what? It's gone. Now, the thing that pisses me off, and it's a little Reichman rant time, so if you had like a little...
Reichman rant time.
If you had a little bell, you could play it. But
I don't have a bell,
the thing
but
that
I
gets
wish I had
to
an
me,
ID.
Malaysian Airlines is offering the families of the victims $5,000 each. $5,000 for a human life. That is what Malaysia Airlines offered their families in compensation for their deceased sons, daughters, dads, moms.
Look, I never think that money. I agree with you that it's a little absurd, but I never agree that money will replace a life
Never.
or will do anything, but I feel like that's just very insulting.
Yeah, to put a price tag on a life
Right.
is insulting, but to put a price tag of $5,000
Is even
on a
more
life is even
insulting.
more
Right.
insulting. The total payout would be $1.2 million. $1.2 million.
That's outrageous.
You could fundraise $1.2 million. It's outrageous. It is stupendous. How I don't have
it's
I
ridiculous.
struggle to find adjectives.
It's ridiculous.
for that.
It's ridiculous and it's insulting, and we all hope the best here at WICR. We all hope the best for the families that are suffering from not knowing where their loved ones are.
Yep.
And you know what? You know what also makes me mad, and I feel like only one person on CNN has done it, and that's I don't know. You know Don Lemon, I think his name is.
Yeah, the guy who
feel
does
like-
the late night after Anderson Cooper.
I think he does it before
African-American
and
man?
after. Yes.
Yeah.
Before and after, I believe. But I feel every time I watch it, I feel like he's the only one that says, "Let's not forget about the people on board," because it's all these
Yep.
computers that where the plane go, where the plane go. What about the people?
Yeah. No,
Everyone's
it's,
so
it's
wrapped up
important
about-
to remember
everyone's so
the
wrapped
human
up-
aspect of this whole
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, they're wrapped up about the plane because they want to know what happened to the people. Okay, but I've only heard this guy, and I'm sure other people have said it, but I have only heard this guy out of all the CNN people that I've heard say, you know, we're sorry about the victims. You know, let's not forget about the victims here. Let's not forget about the families, and it's sad how the news and the media sometimes strays away from that, and they just want answers. And this is good news. People will
Right.
listen. I'm not saying CNN is like that. Obviously, CNN puts their hearts into making sure that the families are get their answers that they deserve. They try to
Right.
speak the news, but I feel like sometimes they go off on tangents and forget. And I'm sure every news team does it. Forget about there's 200 plus souls that they're not accounted for. We should really focus on them and their family. You know, so. Hopefully we get answers and not just speculations anymore.
Yeah. And I mean, sometimes the best you can do, though, is speculation. Especially like the way we talked about it before. I mean, logically, and for all intents and purposes, you don't want to just be logical when, like you said, there's 200 souls who are missing.
Sometimes the reason that things happen are so illogical you don't know how it happened,
Yeah.
but it still did. So.
But yeah, and sometimes logic has to trump anything else.
Right.
And right now, for me, the logic of this plane no longer existing and the people on board having passed away is logical. And it's awful. And
It is awful.
It's a tragedy,
Yeah.
but that's the logical response.
I mean, I don't know. See, as a person of, I don't want to say mechanical background. My dad was a mechanic for 40 plus years.
I think that gives you a mechanical background.
Sure.
Right? It's in your genes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to build carburetors with him when he has.
I don't even know how to
carburetor-
spell carburetor.
I don't know how to spell it either. I just knew how to build them.
C-A-R.
Berator.
Berator.
It's interesting to me to understand why the plane went down, the mechanical aspects. It's interesting to me to understand why, and that's why I would like to
Yeah.
know why. But my main concern right now is not how the plane went down. My main concern is let's get these people. Let's figure out what's going on with them.
Yeah. Let's get these families back in shape.
Right.
Yeah.
Tell me about the plane later. I'm interested about it, but it ain't important
It's
right
not
now.
the first. Yeah, it should not be the first priority.
Well,
First priority should be taking care of the families
I hope the families are.
and not giving them $5,000.
Yeah, that's just
lost
insulting.
loved ones.
That's just insulting. We'll be right back. We'll be talking about.
I don't even want to come back.
All right.
Kidding. I'll come back.
Well, I'll come back. I don't know if Ken will be here, but we'll be
yeah,
right.
I'm gonna go look for Michelle Doohan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What happened to her?
I don't know.
We were all psyched
You
about
had me
it.
excited. Yeah,
Yeah,
you said that you guys. So I don't know if you did a show last week, but I still have not broken down the gender barrier on.
Well, I did the show
morning
not last week, the week after, a week before. We'll be right back after this.
Hey everyone, I'm Pete Considori, WICR President and Mass